Hey everybody. Wanted to give a update on the Sorare Global Cup, my thoughts and some of my picks for the bets sort of on the next round, the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Go over some of the Sorare. On the NFL, I'll probably be doing a video on the DFS and Rainmakers. Probably be doing a video maybe by Thursday. The bottom line was I had a lot of cashes in Rainmakers, but DFS very frustrating again because if you go back and look at my video, I basically had all the players listed, um, and I was just lightweight on Goff and like the what defense came in huge. I can't even remember now. Um, and it was, even though I was trying different systems to be organized, they didn't work. So that was frustrating. I did optimizations on a site, and they didn't really come out more randomized like I needed to. And I thought I was good to go, and looking back, it was too correlated. So that was frustrating, but I didn't lose a ton of money, but just didn't cash big. And there's not that many weeks left in it. Anyway, so the Sorare Global Cup, Sosa didn't play, and the week before Neymar didn't play, or no, this guy didn't start, Szymanski, and he had started, and the week before Neymar didn't start. So I would be sitting good, honestly, if they hadn't, because I finished 137,000, the top 100,000 get a prize each week. Oh, and by the way, so here's the because I have Mbappe and Messi. You know what really messed up my team is Neymar, who's not one of my favorite people, to be honest. Picking him in the beginning and him getting injured screwed it all up, because now I have three incredible forwards and I'm scrambling to, fill in a defender and a midfielder and goalie because De Jong was a little disappointing. But here's how to see the overall, and this is sort of tricky to find. I want to thank, what's his name, John Mellis, I believe, who's like the biggest YouTuber for Sorare, because I saw this from him, and also a player that I wanted to mention. So if you go to leaderboard under past, scroll down, click on show more. It's just in such a weird place. Then you go to prize pool. This is the big prizes, which I hadn't even seen this except for right at the beginning. Oh no, that's not it. Then you click on, yeah, you go leaderboard. There's a lot of clicks. Then you go overall. Okay, prize pool. Why is it not? Oh, there you got to click overall. I'm sorry. So the top five people win the Zidane Experience, which I believe is in France, and they went with Ethereum, good Ethereum, Star Limited. I mean, big prizes. 6 to 10 get 2 VIP tickets to a football game, and then the top 100 get a signed jersey and Ethereum and all that. But where I'm looking at now is just cashing, and so the top 4,200 get a tier one limited to, and these can be worth a lot depending on who you get. Top 40,000 is the point, and so I looked, and even with losing all these players, I'm at 75,000, so it's going to be difficult for me to catch them because the pool of players is not that large right now. I mean, that's decent. That's like top probably 10%. I think I forgot how many entries there were. Oh, there were 500,000 entries, so that's like top 12% maybe. But having a player out the last 3 rounds just screwed me in. And the Neymar thing. So anyway, so this past week, yeah, so I finished a little out of getting my third little collectible card. But what I went ahead and the problem with this, what you got to be careful is redrafting because the prices keep changing. What happened to my redraft? Well, oh, okay. So I went back and forth I have Livakovic from Croatia, but he's playing Brazil. I mean, this was a good pick because he's done all right. He didn't get points for the penalty saved last game. So I was going back and forth. I want to get Allison, but the problem from Brazil. But the problem is let me just redraft it. Screw it. The problem is fitting in the right things because I have Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar. I do not need a forward, so I want to get the cheapest forward. The cheapest one currently, there was one that was 6. Are these four Moroccan players? And I think he's under 20. So probably that one, and he looks like a decent player. There's another one that's 22. So anyway, I take him. Now, my midfield, um, so I don't need an attacker. I got those three. Midfield, it's annoying because I feel like it took me this long to really, but to really get my feet under this tournament. But honestly, if Neymar had done better, I wouldn't have. Anyway, so midfield, I have DePaul from Argentina, Frankie De Jong, and Brozovic, and they're all putting up points. He's putting up decent points. He had one really good game. He burned me last round because I bought him, and I was looking at Bruno Fernandes. And then Bellingham's put up a lot of points. So if you sort by highest selection percentage, I can't see the guys who I have, but including him. But it's Jude Bellingham, Modric, Saka, and I think maybe Bruno Fernandes might be right here. Foden, Chumani, Camavinga, Grealish, Perisic. Now Perisic at 12 is a good one if you want maybe an upset one for type of thing or a differentiator because he has gotten 60 points I think twice and he's a free kick specialist. Rabiot, France, um, and then I think those were the only ones that I think were possibly. I mean, you could say Mason Mount, no, but I mean, when you're looking at the cheaper one, Enzo Fernandez, but he's 16. Let me see here. I'll sort this by. But I guess the point is, if you're behind, you want to get a guy that's not picked as much. That's your only differentiation. You know what I mean? So Enzo's not being picked that much. And I have a list of I'm going to go over who has goals and assists in this. Not there. I don't have all their so rare points written down. Anyway, Bruno Fernandes has been putting up mad points. So I got to decide basically if I want to roll with Frankie De Jong or try to get him. It could go for Bellingham, but so with this one, I went for that. Then okay, so the goalkeeper is the problem because I wanted to get Allison. Not the problem, but Allison or Emiliano Martinez, I would say. You could also go Diogo Costa. But then I was looking at Pickford, and that might be a good contrarian play. I think France will get shots, and maybe he'll get some good saves. It was either between him and him, I believe. And then the defender. Now, this is one that I forgot his name. Let me look up his name really fast. John Nellis, who you probably are watching if you watch this video. He's got 125,000 subscribers for Sorare. He pointed out this Diogo on Portugal, and he's not actually picked that high. I think I can show that here. Partially because he doesn't have a picture, and his name just says Diogo, and it's actually kind of hard to find the actual like goals and assist stats, and even Sorare, you got to go through it manually, sort of. So, like, let's see here. Hopefully his price hasn't raised. So if you go highest per slot, he's not on the first page of highest defenders. Look, Virgil van Dijk, Cancelo, Lissandro, Marquinhos, Trent, Konate, Pepe, Theo Hernandez is down a bit. Kyle Walker, I was thinking about at 13. Thiago. So he's all the way down here. And he's put up, I think, 80 or 90 points the last two games. I mean, that's just kind of counting. What's his name? Diogo. I already forgot his name. Delo. And he's on Man United, actually. Yeah, he got 77 and 92 points the last two games. So I wanted to put him in there, and that's the problem is fitting these two and then fitting a top goalkeeper or a goalkeeper. So Pickford's had 64, 66, 70. That's impressive. Now, I actually don't think England's going to win that game, but let's look up. That's far above what Emiliano Martinez has done. The only one close, I think, is Becker. Is Allison. If you think that like they're gonna, I don't think Lloris has put up that many. I don't think Noper. I don't even think Diogo Costa. Let me just look him up again. Yeah, so Pickford, I guess, for a dice roll, and then the two Portugal, because they're not actually favored to put up many points against Morocco, even though they've looked much stronger than I expect this tournament. So anyway, so if I go ahead and pick them like I did, then I got to start Pickford against France and sort of hope. Delo, so there you go, 77.92. Now that because I got this Argentinian guy who hasn't done much, Acuna and Sosa didn't start the last game, which wrecked me from finishing. So then midfield. So here I have De Jong, Szymanski, Rodrigo De Paul, Brozovic, Luke. And there's not many defenders, or excuse me, midfielders. So if I could just roll with Frankie De Jong because he's 75, 90, 64, 81. And if I did, I would get a better goalkeeper, I think. But let's just say I go with Bruno. And then I have Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. I'd probably go. I probably wouldn't go Neymar because they have so many weapons, and then Messi captain. So it's really annoying. I ended up. It's sort of like I feel like it's like uh, a noob team because I have the three most famous players in the world. I didn't plan on. I really wasn't even going to pick Neymar, but then I was looking at all the projections and blah blah blah. So that'd be like two Portugal. Um, the France and England is the problem. So maybe then I would have to switch out. But then again, if he could score and he could still get saves, right, and get points and so on, so that's an issue right there. But then I would have a guaranteed player coming through from that game. Of course, I think I'll have Messi and Neymar coming through either way, most likely, type of thing. I'll have to look at that. Anyway, so that's what I've come up with that right now. Let me show you my bets and picks because they actually did pretty well if you checked out my last video. So the corner here's a little cut off. I don't know. Hopefully that wasn't cut off for you on the other one. Sorry about that. Sorry if it was. I'm not used to using this recorder. Okay, so the other day in my video, if you go back and look at it about the World Cup bets, I basically said the green ones were my favorites. Netherlands to advance over the USA. I had Senegal as an upset pick. Man, this is a pain. I had Croatia to advance in regular time. Portugal to advance, period. And then I had Morocco. The yellow ones were the ones I wasn't as strong on, but I said these were the ones I liked. So I had the under in the England game, the over in the over in the England game, the under in the Netherlands game, the over in Argentina, the over in France, and the over in Brazil. So basically here I put like if it was correct or not. Correct, not correct, 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 not correct. And then here, same thing, correct, correct. But there I actually said take Morocco to the quarterfinal because the odds were slightly better on the site I was looking at, which is the same thing as advancing. Well, it adds up to 6-3. And if you theoretically, I think if you can get 55% on wagering, you can do all right. Although the odds on these kind of things aren't the same. They aren't straight 5% rate type thing. So they're harder. But I had NFL picks. If you watch my NFL DFS video where I gave those picks last week, and those were at 9.5. So total it was 65%. So I actually have been doing pretty well, or I did pretty well. That's the first time I really put them down. And also I had these sort of props. This is last week's, and I'll show you the ones I'm looking at now. These were last week's that I gave in the video, and the reds are the only ones that are out. So like I had the winner France, Spain, Brazil, Argentina. So you would still have those alive at those prices if you had done it. The semis, all of them are alive. I said Portugal, Croatia, Netherlands, and Morocco. So that's just basically to win their next match at that time. And then the winner top goal scorer combo, I had Spain and Morata. That got knocked out. But I have France and Mbappe at 9-1. And I think that's the second best one now, but behind Brazil and Mbappe. So that was a good one. Most assists, I had Messi. Alba got knocked out. Messi and Hernandez. Messi actually, I think he's second. I'll show the assist thing here in a second. And then I had these kind of fun props on the games, and they were all 8-1 or higher. And this one actually came in because I said Lewandowski to get the first or last goal, Van Dijk to get a goal, Maguire to get a goal, and Sonny Min to get a goal. And Lewandowski did get the last goal on that penalty, I believe. So that came in at 8-1. All right, so here's and those were the scores from last week or the last round. So here's there's the odds from DraftKings currently. And here I actually put the draw odds in for regular time. So these are regular time to advance and goals that I picked. So it's pretty tough. This one's pretty tough, but I think Brazil minus 265 regular time. Of course, you're wagering like basically 2.5 to get $1 back. And then France. I mean, I've been railing against England, and they looked good. They looked good after about the first 15 20 minutes. But I think the money's coming in a little too heavy on England, partially maybe because of the sports book. Americans and stuff like England. So I think that's just a little low on France. I'm not saying England couldn't win the game, but and then a couple of the longer shot ones. Netherlands to win in regular time, 260, and then Morocco Portugal draw in regular time, 270. I'm a little hesitant to pick Morocco to win it outright, although I had that last round. And then the over unders. These games have been more high scoring than people think. I mean, then they often sometimes are 4-3, 7-0, 3-4, 5-2, and I don't think there were any extra time goals. So basically, all those but two scored over 2.5 goals, which is sort of like the benchmark. So here I basically took the over, like Croatia, Brazil over 2.5. I mean, Croatia did. They will try to slow it down, but Brazil looks. I mean, they look. What's the word? Like magical. Like they look crystallized right now, man. So over 2.5 -125. The only one I said under was Netherlands, Argentina under 2.5 -175. I mean, that could come in 2-1, but Argentina is going to slow it down. I think that would probably be that one. And then Morocco Portugal is actually projected low scoring, but that one Portugal's been putting up mad points. I don't know if Morocco can hold out another one after last game. They might have emotionally spent themselves too. It was such a great victory for them. So over 2.5 there. And England France, that actually should probably be green. I want to make that one green. Over 2.5, I would say there. It could be a 1-1 edgy affair in the second half, but both these teams they have strong attacks, and I think the England defense is still a little sketchy, even though they got Kyle Walker back, who's been helping them out. So then on the props, I was just looking at like how many goals teams have scored and who the top goal scorers are currently, like Mbappe, Gakpo, Saka, Messi, Giroud, Richarlison, Ramos, Rashford, Alvarez, and Fernandez too, and then assists. Kane, Fernandez, that's Portugal, that's Argentina, that's Ramos's Portugal. So Fernandez, Klaassen, and Dumfries got assists. Foden, Hernandez, Mbappe, Perisic, Vinicius Jr., Guerrero, Dalot, Felix, and Dembele. So then I was looking, and honestly, I think that's the pick to win it. Brazil. The fact that you can almost still get 2-1 on them, I I definitely see them making the finals. And then the question would be, but that would be the only one of those I would take at this point. Then to make the final, Portugal and England, because I feel like if France doesn't make it, one of those two is right. And the fact that you could they're combine their over 2-1 basically. Like if you put five on each, um, you would if either of them made it, you would make money, I believe. So um, I would look at that, or you could balance it out to make it like that. Then the individual goal scorer in the next game. Um, I just did anytime goals. I didn't do first or last this time. I mean, the odds aren't that great, but Vinicius Jr. 225. I mean, he's a great player. Um, he gets opportunities. Alvarez on Argentina. I think he scored the last two games, and he's sort of like their best striker for Messi's balls. 275 anytime. And then they have these OR ones I just saw. They don't have it for all the games and all the teams, but I think this Memphis or Gapco one on Netherlands 110 anytime might be decent. If they are going to score, it would most likely be one of those guys. And then the France, I wanted to see what Giroud or Griezmann would be, because I think Giroud can score, and I think Griezmann's due to score. I could totally see Giroud scoring in a big game against England. It's funny how he scores so much in international, but he doesn't for clubs. But I didn't see that. But they had Griezmann at 300 anytime. But I'd rather do that one if it's like 2-1 or something. And then the score, and they have this one, score and team wins. Mbappe at 330. I mean, that's if they beat England, because the other odds are so low. So that's basically it. You saw my I showed the past picks and what I currently think, and my Sorare team. I guess that's it. Let's see. Edit my lineup. Yeah, yeah. So I guess I might need to adjust that with Mbappe and Pickford. Although I need to look at the scoring exactly and see what I think he can get versus the other guys who are on the same price. Otherwise, I have to roll with Frankie De Jong here and get a cheaper midfielder. And he probably is due for a good game. This is going to be a slower game, and his pinpoint type, what's the word, orchestrating type thing. And I do have experience. So the thing here is like I have experience bonus on Messi of 24% or 4% and him of 2, but then all these others aren't. So yeah, I really am going to have to go contrarian to try to crack that top 40,000 because I'm at 70. And that's really where, because then you win a limited card. All right, that's it. Sorry if I rambled on too long, and good luck with your World Cup picks, and hopefully your team you're rooting for wins.